What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Open Field Podcast. I'm with the regulars, F. B. We've got Bama and a very special guest, former cornerback for the Chiefs, Eagles, Steelers, and Texans, Mr. Steve Nelson. How are you doing today?
What's the word? What's the word, man? Appreciate you guys for having me back. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Yes,
Kick some
sir. Yes,
game
sir.
real
It's always
quick, you
great
know.
to
yes,
talk
My
to you.
dog
sir.
Steve, what's up, bro?
What's the word, brother? What's the word?
Not much, man. Good seeing you again, man. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
man. Hey man, I like what y'all got going on, man. You know, I'm trying to make my footprint.
Yeah, bro. It's good, bro. I'm pretty sure Marshall already had talked to you, Steve. We gonna chat a little bit more, bro. Like I appreciate you inviting us into y'all space too, though, brother. Like, cause like I said, you got a different viewpoint than a lot of us have. You know what I mean? Like I said, I only played arena ball, but you actually played in the league. You see the guys we like, we done went against, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate
Yeah,
you letting us into your space, into your
Definitely.
mind, dropping game on us, bro. Because I'm a
Yeah.
student of the game, went to school for coaching, so I always appreciate it, bro. Especially when somebody above me come in and want to drop some game, you know.
Definitely.
Oh yeah,
I
man.
feel
You
like,
know, it's all about it's all about being humble and you know what I mean, just being down to earth dude, you know what I mean? Um,
Absolutely.
you know, I think you can meet a lot of people all with different walks of life that way, you know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? I'm just glad to be here with y'all.
and just honestly, there is a little bit of a disconnect at times with guys who played in the NFL and fans. And it's great when you can have discussions with those guys and, they'll put you on game and, try to be as respectful as possible. So it's always appreciated.
And it's always good
yeah.
conversations too, man. Like everybody's just feeding back on each other's energy, man. It's good. It's good to have you in here, man. For real.
Yeah,
Facts.
But yeah, let's start it off. So we'll start off with some current event stuff. So obviously the Steelers and the Dolphins made a little deal. The
Mm,
Dolphins ended up trading Minka Fitzpatrick to the Dolphins or the Steelers, and they got Jalen Ramsey and Johnny Smith. So, how do we feel about that? What's the implications for this season? Not only this season, but for the future for both teams, and pretty much anything off of that you want to talk about. Steve, we'll start with you.
um, you know, obviously, I have connections with Minka Fitzpatrick. Just going back on that, the history of him even going to Pittsburgh. You know, he was traded there. The
hmm
situation there with you know, the head coach at the time. I don't know
Flores. Yeah.
Flores. Yeah, so you know, Minka had a couple, you know, stories talking about they was trying to make him play defensive end and you know, just doing a lot of weird things. But anyway, I was there when he got to Pittsburgh, and you know, it's a real interesting type of deal. I mean, I don't understand it, obviously, given as what you know he's done for that team. He knows the system. Jalen
yeah,
Ramsey, obviously, you know, I have my feelings about him as a corner, but obviously, I think he played safety in college, but. You know, I think a lot of this stuff, man, just has to do with a guy's name. I don't necessarily think it'll fit, in my opinion, but you know,
Do
that's
you
just how.
think? Do you think J Ram is taking a step back as a corner in coverage, or elaborate on your feelings with him as a corner?
Yeah, as a corner, I'm a cornerback, you know, enthusiast. You know, watching tape, just that's just what I do a lot of, and you know, a guy like that, high caliber guy. You know, you want to pay attention to see, okay, what does this guy do well, and what does he do, what does he don't. And from what I can gather, the last I don't want to say 3 years, but at least the last couple of years, I think his play has taken a step back. He still makes
hmm
splash plays. That's just his God given ability. So, but I don't think he's been the shutdown guy that we've all grown to know.
yeah,
You know, earlier in his career, it just kind of seems a little watered down, if you would say. And that's no disrespect, but that's just my honest opinion.
Of course,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Bama.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna piggyback kind of like off what Steve said. It's like a weird fit because they talking about putting him at safety. I know he played at Florida State, but it's like, no, after the knee injury, you can, like you said, you could just see like it's a couple steps been lost, bro. Like,
Right.
so I want to see like how that's gonna work. I know they probably gonna put Slay at corner because Slay can still run, man. So
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
you can.
Yeah, Slay-
really
Yeah.
what I'm caught up on, Steve, is how do you account for that instinct, that range, that nowhere what Minka provided at the high safety? Like you
Yeah.
can't plug a cornerback back there and replicate that instinct. You know what I'm saying? Like because
Yeah.
Minka always been a high safety, like that instinct come with reps.
Yeah.
So it's like I want to see how that's going to play out in an actual game because
Yeah.
you know better than anybody. The NFL will scheme up against that. Like, hey, bro, this is
Oh,
where we
yeah.
go attack because we know
Yeah.
they know. Hey, dude, you're not a safety, so we gonna see. We gonna try.
In my opinion, my personal opinion, Minka, playing that safety position. A lot of these teams nowadays, these safeties have to be somewhat interchangeable. You know what I mean? And that's how they're able to, maximize their roster. Like you don't want to, you want to have guys that do the same thing. And Minka was a guy that, or is a guy that can play, in the box. He can blitz really well. You can put him in a slot. He's not really the best cover guy, but physicality and instincts and ball skill, one of the best to ever do it. Now, Ramsey on the other end, it's going to be interesting. I don't think not because of his instincts. I think he has that ability, smart player. I think where they're going to try him at is the run game. Now, he's known as being a big physical corner, whatnot. He's had some, anybody you could throw the ball in the flat and I guess the pass catcher don't see you can blow him up. But how many times is he going to come up like a Minka Fitzpatrick and meet a guy in the hole? I don't really see that. You're a cover guy, and that's just like the what I'm trying to say. I don't know, like that's just how you kind of are built. You're a cover guy. So are you going to be able to line up against Cleveland? Who else? Baltimore Ravens and fill the A gap. You know what I'm saying? 30 times a game. Yeah, I'm not real sure of that, so that's where I think they could try him and exploit him at.
Right. Because there's obviously levels to like Minka's bread and butter is beating guys. Like that's what obviously he's a very well-rounded safety in general, or he wouldn't have been highly touted out of college and he wouldn't be as good in the league as he is. But that is something that as a strong safety you're supposed to do every single time. As a cornerback, it's a plus to be able to tackle and to be able to set the tone, but that's not entirely what you're asked to do.
Yeah.
I think I have some same sentiments with the Jalen Ramsey part of the deal. I do think that that's not even the best part of the deal for the Steelers. I do think that Jonnu Smith, and we talked about this on Bama Show on Sunday, but Jonnu Smith is a really good tight end. Is he top 5? No, but he's top 10 to me. And I think the Steelers are going to ask him to do what he's best at, which is, get the ball in the flat, short routes, and just beat guys with physicality and break tackles.
Yeah,
And
he's a good outlet.
More. But yeah, I do think Ramsey, especially last year, like he's not inept as a coverage corner anymore, but he's definitely lost a step in agility, and that's just going to be a problem trying to cover these fast guys.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing. But I do feel like this trade, even though all these guys are kind of similar. Minka's only 28, but I think these two guys that they got, I think that they're going to see what's going to happen with Rodgers, and if it's a disaster and it doesn't work out, then they're going to rebuild. And this is something that I would. Do you think that the Steelers were actually fully rebuilt, or no?
Go ahead.
No. That's
but
pretty much it. But I just see the last. I don't know. Honestly, their whole tenure. It's like they don't necessarily rebuild. They retool, but they don't tank for quarterback.
They're playing. You got to look at the whole overcast of it. What has Mike Tomlin kind of been known for, or kind of pigeonholed to, which is being a plug 500 type of coach. So they're gonna do just enough. I don't think they're ever gonna go that far to blow it all the way up, because when you blow it up, what happens? Like you're risking having a losing season. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that's just kind of like where the Steelers have been at, and until Mike Tomlin is gone or something like that. Maybe a new coach has a different philosophy or started all the way over. But I mean, Mike Tomlin, you know, his tenure, he's building his resume. You know what I'm saying? He's already a Hall of Fame coach, but I mean, I wouldn't blow it up if I'm, you know what I'm saying?
He's got a lot of talent, but I just feel like
but
in the league today, you may not. Obviously, it's hard to find a Mahomes, Allen, or Lamar, or Joe Burrow, but you need a guy that's going to be able to make plays at a high level. And you know, Kenny Pickett's of the world, even an older Aaron Rodgers, is that what's going to take you over the top to win playoff games? Unless you have a ridiculous defense, and their defense is really, really good. But we're talking about all-time great in order to do that.
I think the Steelers are just going to be good enough. I don't see them making a deep run. I think Baltimore pretty much runs that division. The Bengals, obviously, you got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and the other guys, but they really don't have a good defense. So I think Baltimore just, you know, they're going to be number one seed in that division every year until something drastically happens.
Mm-hmm. All right, B, you got any thoughts about it?
Yeah, I just feel like this move is kind of desperate. Trading a safety that knows his position to get an older guy. I understand he like played in college at Florida State. He was good. But that was how long ago was that? You know what I mean?
Years ago.
And you know what I'm saying? How many schemes has he played in? He played in Jacksonville, which I think was his prime. Jalen was prime Jalen in Jacksonville.
Yes.
Then he went to the Rams. And then he went to the Dolphins. Like, how many schemes is he gonna have to keep changing?
Yeah.
And mind you, what is Jalen, 31 now?
He's for sure 30 at least.
Yeah,
minimum
I think
30.
he's 31 years old. Like, his body's breaking down on him a little bit. He has lost a step. And
you can see it.
You can clearly see it. The tape shows. And now he's like, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna have to be asked to tackle a lot more. Like, I get that he does the big hits, you know what I'm saying, and he likes that contact, but you got to do it consistently every single down. And I don't know if Jalen's gonna be able to hold up in a 17-game season now. And like, as far as the Jonnu Smith move, that it makes a lot of sense. I mean, Freiermuth isn't a scrub or anything like that, but he can't be the main tight end you go to because Freiermuth is just not that athletic, and you need more juice. You know what I'm saying? Jonnu Smith, he's a great he can catch, and he can run the routes. You know what I'm saying? He's a little faster than Patrick Freiermuth. So that move makes sense, but I understand, like, you know what I'm saying, you're trying to make some moves and stuff like that, but you're doing all this to go 9-8 still. I think they missed the playoffs just by this much. You're doing all this to go 9-8. I don't trust, like, Aaron Rodgers. You waiting for him to sign to y'all all this time. He's taking all this time. He could have been there, signed, like, met the guys, built a little chemistry with the guys. But we all know Aaron Rodgers, he just ain't gonna do that. I don't see how this moves the needle at all. They're gonna be around the same spot they were last year, honestly. I really don't see how this moves.
Go over 9-8 unless the Bengals defense improves. That's the biggest question mark for this division for me is what are the Bengals? If the Bengals don't have a historically bad defense, then I do think that they can be second in division. But like, that defense was so bad last year, you can't win that way. You just can't. I mean,
the Bengals defense was awful, bro. Like they got some pieces. You know, Hendrickson. Did they pay him yet?
No, that's still up in the air. You know how cheap they are.
They got a first round. I mean, I don't really keep up with the Bengals, to be honest. But did they pay the rookie his rookie deal already?
I haven't heard anything about that either. And they talk about him like re-entering the draft.
Entering the 26th draft.
Yeah,
that's disrespectful. I mean, I can't believe Jesse Bates. I mean, is Jesse Bates?
Ain't Jesse Bates in Atlanta? Yeah, he in Atlanta.
Yeah. He said bye bye to that. That's all they got.
They lost DJ Turner too. They big nose. So I mean, they lost.
I mean, their best if Hendrickson sits out, right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, if you don't want to pay him, which it looked like they didn't want to pay him, they haven't even talked about reworking a deal yet. Your second best defensive player is Cam Taylor-Britt, who's right. You know what I'm saying. He had a down year last year.
He got a lot of ability, but like
his consistency is lacking.
Yeah. Shout out to Early on the chat, man.
Yes, sir. F dot, you got anything to say about that?
I think y'all hit every point on the nail. I kind of want to talk more on the Dolphins because everything you guys were saying with the Steelers is basically right. I mean, that was I don't know. I like the Steelers. I like them getting Jonnu Jalen. I mean, he took a step back, but he's not gonna get into that scheme or system and just play like terrible in my opinion. So I don't disagree or don't like that trade. But the Dolphins, I don't see what they're doing. I don't see their game plan here. I don't know why they let go Jonnu. Jonnu just had one of the best tight end seasons in Dolphins history. Like you can look at the numbers, they great. You let him go, and you trade him. I don't see where they're heading. I know they have a lot of offensive weapons on that team with A-Chain and Tyreek and Waddle and all them boys over there offensively, but if one of those guys go down, you're relying on certain people that I don't think can just get the job done by themselves. I don't know. I don't that move for the Dolphins, but
I think the Dolphins.
I think I saw somewhere they were talking about getting Keenan Allen. The Dolphins were.
Yeah, I won't say that they're like bad by any means. They have talent and like
the defense is bad. That secondary on that Dolphins is going to be horrendous. I mean, I don't like anything about the Dolphins.
Even with Javon Holland, they were still they were good.
And they lost to Holland this year.
Now they don't even have him. So it's like
and both their corners.
Yeah, and it's like you can like obviously you need good safeties. Don't get me wrong, but if that's all you have, it's like it's the same thing. It's like if you can have the best quarterbacks in the world, but if you cannot get any sort of pressure and the quarterback is sitting in the pocket for 12 seconds and able to move around, it's going to be tough to cover these pro receivers for that long. And that's just you've got 2 free safeties, but what's the rest of your defense? And I'm not saying that they don't have anything else, but it just seems like with the culture there, I'm not even sure Tyreek Hill wants to be there right now. That's also part of it. I think
you never know.
There's just really no avenues for him to go. So yeah, I just don't know about that team as well, but we'll see. Hopefully Minkah. I mean, if Minkah goes off, he might get traded by the trade deadline. So
it's so weird because they got rid of Minkah. What is it? Second season?
Yeah,
he was played the second season. They got rid of him. It was so
the only reason they got rid of him because him and Brian Flores they
bumped heads.
Yeah, they was bumping heads.
It was that big an issue. They got rid of him.
He wanted to clear it. Like I think he demanded a trade up out of there. Like he wanted to get up out of there, bro, because he just wasn't fucking with Flores.
Yeah, he definitely. That's what he was. That's my interpretation of the situation. From what he told us, he was. Again, he was they was trying to make him play DN, like blitz off the edge. And a lot of it, I think, was probably like disguise that he wasn't messing with. But you know what I'm saying? And he was a young guy then, so coaches can try to, manipulate him. And, he came from Bama. He wasn't going for that shit.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie though. Before we move on though, but Steve, you said some real shit though. That boy Jalen Ramsey got to spill that hole, boy. All right, listen here. I play fullback. A lot of people don't understand.
I'm telling you,
that
bro.
That lane right there. It's let me try to.
No,
bro. It's a quick.
Like in the crazy part, like you ever know, like when y'all watching the game, right, and you like. Damn, it's a violent ass game. And the reason it's so violent, bro, is because I know this is the way I always thought. You know what I'm saying? Like I just know the eye in the sky is watching. Meaning if I do any kind of pussyfooting around, I'm gonna have to see that shit in the film.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm thinking. Like I'm not finna be nothing gonna show no weakness on film because you know what I'm saying? Like you supposed to go out there and give it your all. And then like when you go out, whether you win or lose, obviously you want to win, but like win or lose, like that's when you can kind of like, okay, I'm chilling. They ain't finna be on me today. Like that was my mindset. Like I'm finna go out here, do my job. But then, I ain't gonna cap. It's been times where shit, I'm not finna goddamn Derrick Henry keep bouncing that motherfucker out to me. Like, hey, bro, like I'm thinking about my kids. Let me go and get out of bounds, get blocked real quick. But you got, but the coaches, they like, Man, man, this shit looks soft right here. What y'all think? Like, you know what I'm saying? That type of shit.
Yeah.
That's a
And
Disney.
they play that
Red
shit over and
logo on
over and
you and
over.
stuff, man.
They rewind it, play it again, they rewind it, play it
niggas
again. That shit
laughing.
fucked up.
Niggas like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like that boy shaking ass. Like,
Yeah,
and there's the eye in the sky, and there's also 29 other eye in the skies that you can get paid
hey,
for.
fuck 29. It's however much that stadium hold and the TV.
Yeah.
Exactly. Millions.
Not
man.
trying to be on social media.
Social media too.
I
Shit.
can't, bro. When Eric Thomas was talking shit to Derrick Henry, I think like a couple of plays later, he stiff armed him and made him
Oh my
fucking.
God,
He
it
made
was-
him run the opposite way. I was like, God damn.
Yo,
That-
bro,
Nah,
that shit
bro,
was-
I'm not.
He
Nah.
got sick. Yo, bro,
Yeah.
Thomas is fine.
I'm a real logical cat, bro. Like I'm not doing that. Nah.
You got
Check the
that,
perception.
I'm gonna just get you down. You know what I'm saying? Make you cut back into the defense. That's not my game.
And it's like, I mean, if you try to arm tackle Derrick Henry, like that's not gonna happen. Like you have to go for his knees. You have to
I
try.
used
Nah, you
to-
gotta get him low. You gotta get him low. He gonna embarrass you. If you fucking
I'm a
respect,
gate.
he gonna embarrass you.
I'm a gator roll fundamental guy. I'm gonna grab one leg and roll my
Yeah.
motherfucking ass off.
Roll.
Yeah, fuck all that.
It is what it
Nope.
is. It is what it is.
Hey, no direct contact.
Yeah.
But I mean that's smart though, because football a chess game, man. Like I ain't got chopped so many times, like on the goal line, cornerbacks thinking they finna meet me head up right there. Them boys come out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's longevity, boy. Like shit, cause we smaller than majority of other positions anyway. You know what I'm saying? So shit, nah.
But we can move on to the next topic. So obviously I saw a couple reports that Kirk Cousins felt quote unquote misled by the Falcons. He signed, I think it was a 3-year, I think around $40 million per year with the Falcons last offseason. Obviously, they started off hot. There was a lot of hype with Atlanta getting a quarterback like that they were going to make a run in the playoffs and win that division. And things looked like that was going to happen until about halfway through the year when Kirk had his worst stretch of his career by far. And honestly, one of the worst stretches out of really any of the top 10, 12 starting quarterbacks we've seen in a while. How do you guys feel about that? Do you have any sympathy for Kirk in his side of it?
Honest,
And
man.
anything like that? We'll start off with F. Dot this time.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I kind of feel bad for Kirk, bro. Like, imagine signing a $180 million contract, and I know again, NFL is a business. At the end of the day, your job is not guaranteed. All that is very true. But then, like, I don't know. I feel like they're probably in there telling him, this yours, man. Whatever. Woo. Then the draft come around and they draft Michael Penix Jr. And you sitting there like, oh, okay, I'm thinking my last 3 years in the league, I'm gonna try to make this run. It's gonna be my team, whatever. And they draft this young QB, and then now you kind of have to be like a mentor and play that mentor role. But then in the side of your head, you like, damn, I thought it was my team. Like I'm trying to run this last 2 years. When do whatever, retire, cool. And then I don't know, it's just, and then you get injured, then you tore your ACL, and now you out. Like now they Michael Penix in, and you just sitting there like. I don't know. It's just like that would kind of mentally fuck me. Honestly, I would be mentally like, what the fuck? Like these niggas just they to the dirt, then kicked me off to the side. I was like, man, fuck you, man. We got Michael Penix. We seen him play. He had a couple good games. Whatever. We gonna slide with him. We gonna ride and see what he can do. And now he's just sitting there like, damn. I don't know. I feel bad for Craig. He was going crazy those first 5-6 games, man. It's just unfortunate.
That Bucks game was crazy in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But B?
Yeah, like so they literally coming out with these reports because literally the Netflix series just dropped for the year quarterback too. I literally just watched it today. And Kirk was like, what he said was he didn't want to leave like the Vikings or whatever, but they wasn't trying to like give him a multi-year deal. It was gonna be like a year-to-year basis. He wanted some stability. So that is the reason why he left and went to Atlanta. And yeah, he probably was thinking like, oh yeah. And they didn't, when you go to a new team, they're not gonna sit. not also. So your money cool, but like at the end of the
Is he breaking up on y'all?
Yeah. That's what I was about to say. B, you a robot.
Yeah, B.
Who
Just
are?
come back in. But
B.
yeah, all good though. But Steve,
All right, can you hear me now?
what do you?
Hey, what's your podcast called? It's the Open Field Podcast.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go live real quick. Hold on.
And then okay, B, yeah, finish your point.
All right, my bad. So like Kirk is like 36 years old. Like they got a draft for the future. It is what it is. He should have known this was coming. Like I get that he felt like hurt that they, you know what I'm saying, they already preparing for it like this close, but you was coming off an Achilles and like, you know what I'm saying, you have to just be prepared for that. You got to compete. It is what it is. Like you got to compete. And I know you understand you love the Vikings or whatever. You love like the stability over there, but at the end of the day, they you know what I'm saying, they wanted to roll with a younger guy, JJ McCarthy. It is what it is. And now like Kirk like had to like get used to a new offense or whatever. That's what he was saying. He had to get used to a new offense and like running the motion. It was like a lot of motion going on with that offense, and that's why he had to struggle. Did they play against the Steelers? I think. Yeah, he had like some early struggle with the Steelers or whatever, but then he ended up like winning the week 2 against the Eagles. So it's like, bro, like you just was up and down that whole season. So they had to cut you. I mean, not cut you, but they had to pull you and put you on the bench. Like it is what it is. Like you're just not performing that well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Steve, you ready to give it? You can go if you want.
My bad. I'm trying to share the link. I'm trying to get some views up in this junk.
Oh yeah. Go
My
ahead.
bad. Y'all, I'm listening. I'll come back. I gotta mute it. I gotta mute it real quick.
Gotcha.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Okay, so I'll give my take first, and then let Bama go after. But yeah, I do feel Kirk at the end of the day, he did get misled because I guarantee you he wouldn't have signed a contract if he knew that this was gonna happen. Like they were that like 50-50 on letting him rock the whole year because he didn't sign with the Vikings because that they were going to draft JJ McCarthy. He literally said that. That was the reports. So he definitely got misled. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't think I probably I didn't see the clips from QB2, but I would think that he probably wasn't like that mad about it because like I feel like he probably understands it a little bit. It's the business. That's how it works. We've seen guys get their jobs taken. You know, Drew Bledsoe got taken twice. Romo got taken by Dak. It's happened tons of times, but at the end of the day, that's how the business goes. And when you're playing that bad, I mean, that's what happens. But yeah, from the Falcons' perspective, it just wasn't smart to me to give a quarterback that much money. Obviously, coming off of a great year, but with a lot of talent around him and his Achilles being torn, like you have to decipher that. And now, you know, you basically have him sitting there. And I think Penix I'm definitely high on as a quarterback.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, if he struggles early in the season, then people are going to be screaming to have Kirk in, and everyone's going to be calling him a bust, and it's just going to happen. It's just going to be an issue, and that's a lack of camaraderie for the team.
That was a strange move, though. That was a strange move. Not to cut you off. Speaking of the Kirk thing, I didn't understand it from a business perspective. You know what I mean? I think they gave him one something, right? Gave Kirk one something guaranteed or 80. What was the number? I'm not sure.
No, it was I think it was like 100, 190. Yeah, 180. Yeah, fully guaranteed.
Yeah, right. Okay, so that I thought that was strange. Now Kurt is, he's a good quarterback, very way above average. I don't think he's been able to get over the hump for whatever reason. But one thing I've understood in this game, bro, is that your team is nothing without a quarterback, and they don't really grow on trees. So I'm never really, I guess, shaming or I guess batting the eye if a team really goes all out for a quarterback, because to me that means that they're trying to improve. But what I didn't understand was, wasting that pick on Michael Penix, because why go out and, guarantee a guy this And when I look at it that way, it's just like, bro, you could have gave some of that money to, maybe beef up the defense or,
Yeah.
Exactly. They needed it.
yeah, put that money, other areas. If you was going to get Michael Penix, you could have got a serviceable vet and then got Michael Penix if you wanted him to shadow. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was just a kind of questionable move to draft him. You know what I mean? That's my opinion on it. But yeah, shouts out to Kirk Falcons. You know what I'm saying? That's my hometown. So,
Honestly, man, I know it's weird. They prematurely paid him, but man, Steve, everybody know this, man. The NFL stand for not for long. 1 minute they fuck with you, this minute they don't, bro.
Yep.
And they hold all the cards. All them 32 owners, they hold all the cards, bro. Like so, that's what happened. Once they feel like you can't play, regardless of what the athlete feel like. Once they feel like you can't. But they throw you like on Toy Story when the little buddy throw Woody in the trash.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah, I ain't playing with this.
hey, boy, you so disposable.
Like it be like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Like once a new guy show a flash of anything, boy,
now they question it. It's always how can we save? You know what I'm saying? Or how? It's always a question.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So like Steve said, bro, if that was gonna do this, you should have beefed up that defense like none other.
Yeah, like
you knew you were gonna do this.
They had no pass rushers, Bama.
You paid $180 million to a guy, and then you go with the 8th overall pick.
Yeah.
And draft a QB, and it damn fucked the whole draft off.
It did.
They did.
Like, there was so many people looking for QBs. I was like, bro, what the? It fucked the whole draft off, bro.
Yeah.
So
but see, teams will do that. Teams that move like that is because I don't know. I mean, maybe somebody in the chat or one of y'all can go and see who was, I guess, predicted to make or draft Michael Penix. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. Maybe they was in the same draft. I mean, the same conference or whatever. Teams will do that to kind of like. You know what I'm saying? Put somebody, to kind of cuff somebody real quick. You know what I'm saying? Teams will do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do teams
I
do they
think
kind of like
actually did that, I think, with CD. Because I think the Eagles really wanted CD Lamb.
Yeah, like teams will do that. Like they'll look at you and be like, oh, okay, this is a team in our conference. We kind of like shoulder to shoulder when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, the records or whatever. And we know they only need like one more piece. And if they, you know what I'm saying, doing their calculations and they studying right, bro, they'll draft that motherfucking player. They don't even need him. And that's why you see a lot of guys that be, highly touted and, you know what I'm saying, everybody think like, damn, what happened to him in the league? Went to the wrong system. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that really messed the whole career up though. Like,
you don't even know. You be like, damn, why the fuck? Damn, remember about Buddy? Be like, yeah, he got drafted by one of them teams trying to cock block. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's true.
And here's another thing, Mike, to answer your question. Hell no, I don't feel bad for Kirk. You know why? Have you ever seen his career earnings? Have you ever seen his career earnings?
I don't feel bad at all. Nah,
we put it like that. I ain't like we put it like that. That is
he got like $500 million, like, bro, in his career earnings.
Listen,
look here. I'm a D1 hater. I ain't gonna lie. When it comes to a nigga with money, when a nigga got some money more than me, I'm a D1 hater. He got $500 million career earnings.
Hey,
he got a fine ass wife.
AB,
he fine, okay.
He got too much goddamn money, huh?
I'm telling you, too much.
They just gave him 100 for nothing.
Y'all right. He got too much.
He'll be all right.
Hey, if I'm Kirk Cousins and they draft that young boy after me, I'm like, oh, this free bread.
Yeah. What you talking about? Shit, sit on the bench, man.
Y'all remember when he initially got traded to the Vikings, bro? That 3-year, $84 million. That was like the first ever fully guaranteed contract in the NFL, bro. Like, you remember the NFL didn't do that. They used to do the incentives. You got to do all this to where you would never really fully get that 84.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins.
That boy agent is a ink. That boy,
Yeah, that's why everywhere he went after that, he set the tone already. Like, hey, we ain't coming unless this shit guaranteed.
How,
I don't know. I don't know what
a guy
Kirk
like
agent
how
be
was a
doing.
guy like Kirk demanding guaranteed money like that? Is it because the quarterback market was just so?
I'm just
That agent a bad motherfucker. I
They
don't
go
know what
back.
he be
They go
doing.
back to what I was saying, bro. It's like
Yeah.
you look at the NFL, bro, and okay, there's a lot of names, right? But there's only a few in that top tier, right? So everybody, as far as coaches, I get coaches, management, etc., whatever players. The only way to increase their role, or you know, what I'm saying, get a compensated for more money, whatever the case may be, is to what I'm saying, have a better record. It's all about winning and losing. So teams will be desperate, bro. I don't know if you guys ever heard that term around free agency. It's called funny money, where dudes just start throwing money crazy. Like you be like, damn, he got paid that much. You know what I'm saying? Like it's out of desperation, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not really logical. I can't really explain it. Like I've been in this shit for a while. I'd be like, damn, I'm 10 times better than this motherfucker. But I just how that shit go. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
going back to the business a little bit too, you talked about how teams might try to snag a player from another team. It's also it's a game of poker in the draft room. Like who was the guy that the Bears drafted? Trubisky. When they drafted Trubisky, the Niners were saying, "Oh, we're gonna draft him. We love him. This and that," and then they got an insane haul picks wise for him, and that's honestly what kind of jump started the team that got to the Super Bowl multiple times, but just ended up losing to the Chiefs. So that's also a big thing. And Penix, like they at the time they reached on Penix. That was like the number one consensus. People didn't understand why. But when you got four other teams saying, "I don't know, man, I might grab him here," then you got it. Then you got to pick another than you think. So
Around draft time, they be doing like a lot of smoke screens. Some GMs would just be lying just to to trick bag somebody into drafting a player a little too early. So you never know how it goes.
Got to do that.
Yeah, you have to.
Hey Steve, do they by any chance do like the GMs kind of inform y'all like around the draft time? Maybe like let's say the cornerback room, QB room, right? Like do they ever like inform y'all? Okay, this is who we going with. If it's like a defensive guy, like we going with this guy, or is that something they kind of keep to themselves? Like how
I think from my recollection, I think certain guys can kind of get that memo. Like if you're like the guys, unfortunately, I never got those memos. Like, you know what I'm saying? Who am I? But, I'm pretty sure like, the star quarterback, you know what I'm saying? The all pro defensive player, you know what I'm saying? Like they pretty much know, because they are, a part of the team, like a part of the franchise, you know what I'm saying? Like they're part of, they want to. That's why you ever notice when guys start recruiting guys on Twitter and all that, like it's always most of the time it's always like unless they're like friends of guys, but most of the big time players are going at the team like, hey, we need to go get this dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that, but you know what I'm saying, but nah, they ain't really just telling anybody.
Okay.
Because because it's information, you know what I mean? They don't want it to get out.
Right, that's true.
Right. So we'll segue this into like I want to give the chat and everyone here opportunity to ask you a few questions. We'll start off with this one though. Do you think GMs know ball? What's the percentage of GMs do you think really should be in the seat? Because a guy like Howie, I think everybody knows that he knows ball at this point.
Yeah.
But what do you think that percentage is?
I think it's above 50 for sure. Obviously, they wouldn't get the job. It's a real competitive job description. You got to kind of have some, even if most of the guys may have not even played, and you got some coaches like that. You see a lot of NFL guys on these podcasts. They talk about, coaches not even playing the game and this and that. But you kind of have to have some knowledge about the game, whether that's, and a lot of GMs are analytic guys, like, if you look at just the surface, a lot of these guys, they work their way up. They don't really start at a GM level. Even head coaches, they all start at,
coaching.
understudies. A lot of guys started scouts. A lot of GMs started scouts. So they've been around a lot of different athletes. They've talked to, a lot of coaches, been to a lot of these combines. So and then they're analytic guys. So they go off of a lot of stats, the PFF stuff, the Pro Football Focus. I mean, all that other stuff they got going on. So, I think they bring a different element as far as, bringing guys in, whether it's right or not. That's the way I feel about it.
Yeah. And then another question. Where was this? Can I not see it now? Okay, so Early mentioned it earlier, but when you played AJ Green, here it is. When you played AJ Green and had that very good performance on him, I just wanted you to talk about what did you see from him, the preparation that goes into playing a player like that, and just that type of stuff. Because
AJ was a dog too.
He was a dog, boy.
Oh my god, I just love AJ.
close is a completely different story. Actually, having to cover a guy like that who's 6'2", long arms, looks bigger than that.
Nah, he was 6'4".
Time out.
6'4",
Yeah, boys don't
He's
know.
about 6'4". He's about 6'4", yeah.
Yeah, he was 6'4".
And AJ was incredible.
This dude right here on the side of me, man. This dude right here, dog. Like, this is why I be wanting Steve to come over here and get his shit off, bro. Because a lot of the times, everybody at home get caught up on the household names, bro. And me and Mark talked about this shit.
Right.
Dude, it is so many cats in the NFL that really got that shit on them. You know what I'm saying? And like what Steve said, alluded to earlier, sometimes they just be on teams that just don't fuck with them like that. So you don't know who these guys is. But what I'm trying to explain to y'all, bro, don't sleep just because, he just won the top 5 all ESPN talk about it, bro. I don't watch this dude tape, boy. OBJ, listen here, get under the rest. You feel me? Like, I don't watch enough tape of this dude right here. But you
especially on the
Chiefs,
Chiefs, especially on the Chiefs.
I just had to say that, bro, because I don't watch your tape.
That's a fact.
I think I appreciate you, bro. And you actually absolutely right. The NFL, especially with all this social media stuff, it's based on your likeness, and how many tickets you could put, or how many butts you could put in the seats. You know what I'm saying? I was never really one of those outspoken guys. I wish I would have been taught that aspect of the game, being really loud and boisterous and stuff like that, because what I'm saying, whether you like to do that or not, that brings controversy, what I'm saying, to your name. Now your name is buzzed, and then when you put the play behind that can just elevate your career, whatever, how much money you want to get. But me, I would just, a lot of people know my name and stuff like that. I was never, all pro or Pro Bowler. Thought I should have won Pro Bowl at least 2 times in my career. 2019, my first year with the Steelers, I gave up 0 touchdowns. I didn't have a lot of picks though. But also, when I told you guys on the last time I was on here, you see the other guys that I played with. I played with Joe Hayden, Darius Slay, Marcus Peters, and then recently I was with Derek Stingley. So like these guys already have the names, the first round talents. You know what I mean? So I should have won it that year. And then my last year with the Texans, I had 5 picks, 4 regular season picks, and I had the longest pick 6 in Texan history in the playoff. 80.
I remember that.
82 yards versus Cleveland. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, people that know ball, you know what I'm saying? I don't really toot my horn that much, but it is what it is.
That horn, man. Shoot that horn. Not a lot of guys can be in the league for that long and be able to.
Yeah, I'm under the radar, but I'm out there every Sunday. I've been starting. Only year I didn't start was my rookie year. You know what I'm saying? But I started my entire career really.
Yeah.
And that's another thing about the social media thing. I mean, to even get a roster spot, let alone play in a game, takes a lot of work, and people don't understand how hard it truly is. I mean, you've got tons and tons of guys trying to do the exact same thing that you're doing, especially in the NFL, where I would say they value players the least out of any professional sport. I would say maybe baseball is lower on that end, but it's very, very close. Just if you look at the not for long aspect of it. I mean, guys are gone in 1 second.
It's
Yeah.
only 16. It's only 1,600 guys, and like I want to let y'all know how crazy it is to make it to the NFL. I played arena ball with a lot of top D1 names. I'm talking about arena ball. Like it's not even in it. That's to let you know how hard it is to make it. Like, bro, you will be like, bro, this dude played for Alabama. This dude played for Baylor. Like, why you ain't in the league, bro? Like, bro, it really is. It's tough, bro.
It's a doggy dog world, man. But one thing I learned about the NFL is it's availability and production. You know, I didn't have the crazy name or the accolades and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I went 3rd round, but you know, I think if I would have went first or something like that, you know, my name would have been a lot bigger, obviously, because the team is, you know, putting the media behind me. But I think my footprint was made because I understood early how to keep not just a job. You know, I'm a guy that, you know, I'm trying to make a Pro Bowl and I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, strive because I was already a starter. Like there wasn't nobody beating me out of camp. You know, I always had the most picks in camp. You know, they ain't gonna tell you about that, but you can go ask them. You know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of where I made my money at in camp was like, oh, y'all want to draft a guy or y'all want to bring a guy out here in free agency. I took that type of shit personal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I always played with guys that had the solidified names. So if you bring another guy in, I'm looking at it like you bringing them in for me.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's also like, I don't know. I just feel like you got to feel like you're the best player on the field. If you don't, then you're going to get cut.
At all times. Like,
Yeah.
It's like when we talk about the wide receiver diva thing. Like, yeah, some of these guys are divas, but you have to believe you're open on every single play as a receiver, or you're not catching the ball. You're not going to be good.
Yeah. So, that's just who I was. Like, even in camp, like I'm going against the best guys one-on-ones. I'm the first guy in line. You know, like that was just the way I cut my teeth. You know what I'm saying? So, and it had to be that way, or you know, I'm a fall victim to the politics.
Yeah.
And then one thing about that I also want to ask about top 10.
Riddell had a good question too.
Oh yeah. Let me see. Where was it? Oh yeah. So what do you think about the nickel position? Because this is actually a good topic that we've had on this. Do you feel like it's harder to play nickel or on the outside? Do you feel like that there's a difference, or is all those cornerback positions hard, especially in today's game with how it's spaced out, the lack of physicality, stuff like that? Any thoughts on that?
It depends on the scheme you're in. The nickel is, in my opinion, a hybrid of a linebacker, cornerback, and safety. If you're in a man-to-man scheme, you got to really know how to cover. That's where I learned how to cover as well as I did, was because when I first got to Kansas City, being a corner, I played corner my whole life. I didn't even really know what a nickel position was. They threw me a nickel because I was a smaller stature guy. And I played that story I told you about Julio. I played, that was my second year when I first started. I played outside and base. I started on the outside opposite of Marcus Peters, and sub package. I moved inside. So I had played 2 positions my entire career at KC. You know what I'm saying? So that position is valuable because you can't really just put anybody inside at nickel. I don't care, you know, who you like. Travis Hunter, you kind of got to have like a skill set for that. You know what I'm saying? Like Travis Hunter is like a corner. You can't really just put a guy inside at nickel. You know what I'm saying? Like they got to have a certain type of physicality.
You got to be able to stop the run. That's certain type
of instinct, savviness to cover, because it is more space. But you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of different variables of playing that inside. But you know, when I was coming up, the reason I pushed so hard to start playing outside was because then they weren't really paying or valuing nickels like that. They weren't really paying them, you know what I'm saying, as much as they are now. But you know, that's the way it is.
Yeah, and that's how quickly the game changes too.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years now, the nickel position is, you know, one of the more valuable positions on the field. especially when it comes to money. And then last thing is just I know talk about a lot about top 10, that type of stuff. But you see any cornerback this year that's not considered top 10 by the general consensus breaking out, or just any guy that you like that's kind of a low level name watching corners?
It's kind of rough for me, bro. Because I've kind of, I mean, if you throw some names out there, I can probably give you something on it. But, yeah, but I kind of I've been around long enough that I've seen the wave change. Like I played against the AJ Greens. I played against the Steve Smiths. I played against Megatron one year. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a whole new wave of guys. So these young guys coming in, that's why I respect, Slay for still going. He been in longer than me. So you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot of young corners. I mean, I think all the ones that are on the top 10, like Stingley, Denzel Ward, I mean, who else you got? I mean, McDuffie, you know what I'm saying? I got to, be around him for a little bit, that last little stint I had in KC. You got I mean, who else?
PS2.
What about
PS2.
Horn? JC Horn.
JC Horn's good, yeah.
JC Horn, man, he got a lot of talent, first round talent. I kind of wasn't as high as I am on him as other guys, just for the simple fact of, availability. There's not like, I mean, he's got paid because, he's a franchise guy, cornerback or whatever. And that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like a later round guy who gets hurt, like you might not even make the team. A guy like that who's been up and down with injuries, he ends up having a good year and gets paid. You know what I'm saying? But do I think he's a good player? Yeah, of course. I just don't. I haven't seen a big enough sample size for me to put him in my top 10. You know what I mean?
How you like Jalen Johnson?
Who?
Jalen Johnson.
Yeah.
Jalen Thompson?
Johnson.
Oh, Johnson. Oh, from Chicago.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't really like his game in the beginning when I first started seeing him. But see, he understood the assignment. He started coming out and talking more. He started, just saying he thought he was the best corner. And, I know those guys over there, Ryan Poles, he was a scout when I was in KC. Now he's a GM. That goes back to what I was saying. A lot of these guys start at lower level jobs, but Jalen Johnson, I mean, he's proven himself. Do I think he's top 10? If you give me a list of 10 guys, it would be a question, but I definitely think he's probably up there.
See, I really wish Earl was here. Because you remember when we did the top 10 corner list, and I said Denzel Ward right off the bat, and a lot of y'all niggas up here fought me. See, Steve just said he was top 10.
I was fucking with you on a Denzel.
Oh yeah, niggas be lying with Steve up here.
Nah, Denzel hard. He just fucking paused, but he just he got a little injury bug because he light in the ass, but when he on the field, like he's clearly a presence.
Yeah.
Well, not only that,
but he got technique.
I see him two times a year.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this,
but how many niggas was saying he wasn't top 10?
Yeah, it was though.
You got a guy like Porter. Is that his name? Out of Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Joey Porter. He hasn't hit that mark for me yet. I think he grabs a lot. You got Sauce Gardner. Now he's got the hype a lot. He's got the hype early, from being in in that market with New York and whatever. But is he top 10? He might be 10. I don't know. I think that 10 spot might be a few guys, but I guess you got to put them in there.
How you feel about the young guys besides Travis? You got Jahdae Barry, Melo Dotson, Kobe Bryant, Will Johnson, just to name a few fours with the younger guys. Like how you like them new up and coming rookies? Like what you think about them?
So I watched Will Johnson because we were talking about him on the last show, and I've seen a little clips of him before he got injured, and I definitely think he's going to be able to make his way throughout the league. I think he's going to be able to show some things, and especially where he's at. You know, they haven't really had a premier cornerback in a while since he's in the Cardinals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's the perfect spot for him. And it's all about where you land at. So I think for him, he kind of got like a good starting point. And then you said Kobe Bryant. I think he's going to be fine. Now the other guys, I'm not going to lie, you know, I haven't really watched as much tape as those guys. You know what I mean? So I don't really personally know.
Yep. Okay. Well, yeah, we can wrap up that part for the questions, and then we'll just get into the top 2000s wide receivers list. I know it's probably a topic that you're pretty well versed on, being around that age range, and I know B and Bama definitely are informed on it. So I guess we can pretty much go 10, we can go 15. There doesn't have to be a set number, but we'll start off at 1. I'm gonna try to get this document up real quick.
So it's 2000 to like 2010.
2000 to 2010, yeah.
Oh,
And
Randy would be
that
one.
is a pretty like it's only 10 years, so like we're not gonna be very strict on who's 2010s, who's 2000s. We'll put out names, and if we think one guy should be in 2010s, whatever, then we might not put him, but it's fine. So we'll start off with Bama. Who's your number 1 wide receiver of the 2000s? We'll go at 1 because it's just easier.
Yeah.
Start there than just starting at 15 or whatever. So, Bama, you go. I think we all know who this is going to be, but
Yeah.
Number 1 receiver of the 2000s.
yes,
2000, 2010 though. 2010.
2000 and 2010.
Yeah.
2000 to 2010.
Yeah.
I have the leaders in stats.
From the year 2000.
Yeah, 2000 all the way up to 2010.
And like this doesn't mean that you have to start your year in the 2000. It just means
You just played in it though.
you played and you did most of the grunt work there.
Right.
I'm going Terrell Owens. It was either him or Randy Moss.
I'm going Randy.
I got Randy at 1. I'm sorry, but yeah, Randy.
What about you?
I got Terrell Owens.
We'll go by
at 2.
vote. We'll go by vote as well. So each position will name it, and then whoever has the most votes will go with for that spot.
T.O. was nasty though, man.
Randy was nasty. 23 touchdowns. You kidding me?
Yeah, Randy was nasty too.
Yeah, he did exactly what we thought he would do when he got to the Patriots, bro. He did exactly what we thought he would do, and more.
But this is the thing with T.O. Why I fuck with T.O. If you look at when he left from the 49ers, every team he went to in his prime, those were the quarterback's best years was with T.O. Like the quarterback's statistically best years, yards, touchdowns was with T.O. So I mean
That's fair though. That's a fair argument. That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
T.O. definitely. Because a lot of these guys, if you just watch, you know, a lot of football, a lot of top receivers when they go to multiple teams, they're not really. I think they have a drop off. You know, T.O. is one of them guys. I mean, he did it where Philly, obviously, San Fran, and Dallas, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
good at the end. Wasn't anything like he wasn't like, I mean, he was old, but still had production. But yeah, I will go Randy. So we'll just go person by person. I'll go Randy at 1. F. Dot. What about you?
I'm going Randy too. Yeah, I'm riding with Randy.
B. You're Randy.
Yeah, it's got to be Randy. That effect on that Patriots team, bro. They broke records, bro. Like, it's
yeah,
gotta be Randy.
because, and I'm gonna tell you why. The Patriots are historically known for beating you efficiently with, you know, efficient plays. You know, quick game, getting the ball out of Tom Brady's hands, not getting hit. You got a lot of, you know, slot guys. Got Gronk. You know, before then you had Aaron Hernandez and so on. But then when you added a guy like Randy Moss, now most teams are trying to prepare to stop the quick game when he is clearly running past everybody. So that just adds a different element, you know what I'm saying? That makes him more dangerous.
I ain't gonna lie though. Randy had that. I know the Raiders the second year was bad, but that first year he still had a cave, bro. Like,
Yeah,
he
so
still-
yeah.
This is
Yeah,
also
busy.
the thing where it's like
Nah.
when
That's
we talk
that's
about the
that's crazy insight though, Steve.
yeah, when we talk about the Randy's Raiders years, like I just want to like as a receiver, as a running back, as a skill position, yes, you have to be good in order to produce. Don't get me wrong, but if you're on a team where Kerry Collins is your quarterback and you have low key barely any other starting players on the offensive side of the ball, how are you going to put up production? I just don't like when you say, "Oh, you know, the Raider years for Randy." It's like there has to be other people around you. Like when we
Yeah.
talk about the top receivers of all time, the skill set, all that. But these guys had dudes throwing them the ball. Everyone did. And they were all in pretty good situations. And the thing with Randy as well, when he went to a team that was capable offensively and was like very good considered, he brought that team into all-time great talks.
Yeah.
And he had the court, like it's not all on him for Brady being that good, but I guarantee you that's a big reason why he had
They're not
49.
going that deep in the playoffs without Randy. They're not.
Not at all. No. Randy took that team to another level, bro. Mind you, Tom Brady had 50 touchdowns that year, and Randy had 23. They were both records. So I think Randy was a huge factor in that run. And
Really?
Kind of what Steve said though, because I'm just like I said, bro. I just look at it from a coaching standpoint, dog. The Patriots with the white ball receivers, bro. We just go keep it real. Quick 5-yard out, slants, drags, all of that, you know. But like you said, we gotta account for this because this is who they are. This is who they are. Dink and dunk all the way down.
I'm telling you, they beating you across the head with that shit like motherfuckers on the sideline. And I played against a lot of them Patriot teams where they had Edelman, fucking Amendola, fucking Hogan. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Gronk, like that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, those guys are superstars, you know, if we want to keep it real, but like they're not really viewed as, you know, like a Jamar Chase or something like. They're not viewed as number one guys. But in that system, bro, it was hard to beat them motherfuckers because they're gonna spread you out, pause, and they're gonna beat up on your inside defenders, like your linebackers. Your linebackers gonna fucking rethink playing football after playing them.
For real.
And
then right after that, you got Randy Moss running a post right behind all of it. That's OD.
Nah, that is OD.
It's OD, bro, because now your safeties, I mean, they beating you. They really just really driving down the field, you know, boom, 5 yards here, boom, 10 yards here, yards at the catch. Now the DC over there stressing. He like, man, we got to get tighter. Now the post safety, he cheating up. Tom Brady done hit him with a pump fake, and you got Randy Moss putting the mailbox up. Like, like that shit.
That's the
That
part.
shit not fair.
That's the part that's like, and at the end of the day, when we talk about like top five of anything, like we're gonna split hairs a little bit. You're gonna have to nip a little bit. But for me, what I value is when you have a guy who can just take a go route and he doesn't even have to look open and he's going to high point, let alone the fact that he ran a 4.35. Like that adds so much value because if there's if the safety's creeping, if you don't see the blitz and you have the ability to get it off to him, stuff like that is so valuable for a quarterback. And obviously, he's the greatest deep threat of all time, in my opinion. But I feel like that is overshadowed about how skilled he was when it comes to changing direction, getting open, like separation. Like, because people talk about, oh, Randy's routes weren't that clean. Like
they were.
Yes,
you don't know ball if you don't know that. He could run routes.
Were they as clean as like
But he really technically didn't have to. He can run past everybody.
Yeah.
Yes. And he's that talented. Like, it's the same thing with Jamar Chase. It's like, why would Jamar Chase sell a route the way Julian Edelman does when he doesn't need to in order to create something? It's just you want to be efficient as possible.
The Patriots was also dangerous, bro, because they were very heavy on the scheme of playing football, playing teams. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna scheme you to death. It wasn't like, again, you didn't have to go into a game like, okay, we got to shut down this number one receiver who just run routes all day, can do everything. You know what I'm saying? That kind of limits your team. But like when you got a team on the same page, that everybody doing, you know what I'm saying, something different, like somebody gonna be isolated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't
then-
double team everybody.
Yeah, and I think that's what I think. Honestly, Bill learned that better than anything when he got Randy, because like obviously he's not the biggest on skill positions, but he made an effort to go out and get Gronk, go out and get Hernandez pretty soon after Randy ended up leaving. So I feel like that's another thing. But we can go on to number 2. I think that this is pretty obvious. I'm not
Yes,
gonna lie.
Terrell should be number 2.
Yeah, T.O.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
So, any objections to that? Or we good?
shouldn't be.
All right, fair enough. So we'll start. This is where I feel like it gets interesting now.
Yeah.
Now, hear me out. Hear me out. Number
B,
3.
you can go ahead and
Number 3 should be Marvin. Hear me out. 1,700 yards, bro. Do you see the streak of 1,000-yard season he had? That shit was insane.
Marvin should
That
be.
Marvin should be 3. No
Third
lower than
most
3.
yards.
Calvin got Jeff in 2006, right? So he wouldn't. But we could.
Nah,
but he
Calvin
was
wasn't Calvin then. He wasn't Calvin.
He wasn't Calvin then, though.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
I mean, yeah, he had his all-time. He broke the record in the 2010s.
Tens,
Did his
yeah.
all-time stuff in the 2010s.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm fine with leaving him out of it.
yeah, that's fine.
I
I think I'm going Marvin too. I'm not gonna lie. I like Marvin right there.
You got to go back and look at them
I'm
stats.
taking Marvin over Torrey Holt and not Torrey Holt. Troy, what's his name?
Isaac Bruce.
Yeah, Isaac
Yeah, like
Bruce.
we ain't gonna
I'm taking him
disrespect.
over Steve Smith. I like Steve Smith, but I'm taking Marvin over Steve Smith. Respect.
And don't get me wrong, like I am the first person that was thinking about putting Steve Smith as high I possibly could on this list. But I mean, what Marv did in the 2000s was special. I understand he had Peyton Manning, all that stuff, but that dude wasn't devoid of talent. Like obviously, we know how good Steve Smith was, how fast he was, how much separation he created. Marvin wasn't as fast, but he's no slouch in route running. He's no slouch in catching. He's no slouch in getting separation either. So I would go Marvin 3 as well. Bama?
I'm not mad at Marvin 3. I probably, me myself personally though, I fought with Marv, bro.
Get nasty, Bama. Get nasty,
We
man.
ain't even get nasty, bro. Like I'm thinking about like Andre Johnson, bro. Like,
That's
Yup.
not bad. I ain't like Andre Johnson. Not a bad pick, bro. That's a
cause
good.
look, the most 1,200-yard seasons, like for a career, if I'm not mistaken. Well, in that amount of time he played, because he only played like 10 years, right? 12 years, something like that.
Did have
Bro, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns, bro. It was like something where you had like 5 consecutive seasons of that.
and
I mean, I'm not mad at Marvin though. I'm not mad at Marvin
situation
though.
wasn't the
'Cause-
same as as a Peyton Manning. He's
But
playing
see,
job and-
Nah,
I get kind of nasty with that situation though, because a lot of people can sit there and be like, "Oh, Peyton Manning got carried to the Super Bowl by his team with the Broncos," but when I look at it, you got Marvin Harrison, and then right when Marvin Harrison get old, Reggie Wayne. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
Dallas
I can-
Clark.
you
Bruh,
can
listen to
share
this.
point out the plays. He gonna let you know, oh, you with this defense, all of that. I do feel it. I respect it, bro. But
Listen to these stats. Listen to these stats by Marvin from 2000 to the 2008.
Stat merchant?
Uh,
No, okay.
So, okay, I'm just go to 1999 for the fuck of it. 1999, 115 catches, 1,600 yards, 12 touchdowns. 2000, 102, 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns. 2001, 109, 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns. 2002, this is a fucking Justin Jefferson run. 2002, 143 catches, 1,700 yards, 11 touchdowns. 2003, 94, 1,200, almost 1,300, 10 touchdowns. 2004, 86 catches, 1,100 yards, 15. 2005, 82, 1,100 yards, 12. 2006, 95, 13 again, 1,300 yards again, and 12 touchdowns. Bro, that's a crazy run, bro. That's a crazy run.
Crazy run.
That's a crazy one.
Steve,
Like,
who do you think-
if
yeah,
he did that shit today, we really calling this nigga God, bro. Like, ain't no way this nigga's real. Ain't no way this nigga's real.
That's a crazy run. Somebody, Rodell said Brandon Marshall. Did y'all bring him up already?
Well,
love
no,
Brandon
this,
Marshall,
the third,
respectfully.
this the third one we got right as far.
Yeah, we're at 3. I'm not even mad, like especially Andre. I'm not even mad about like if you think that he's better than Marv, I'm not mad at it.
Wait,
but, like,
who's the pool? Do we have a pool of guys, or we just like just naming them?
We just
So
named
we like to name them off top, but I can give you names.
Because I like to hear like, because sometimes, you know what I'm saying, we might not be thinking about a guy, and I think that's how guys get lost in the shuffle. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why a lot of, you know, on major platforms, that's what happens a lot of, you know, when guys be like, yo, my name was left off, and it's like, well, I think guys just be naming them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't get me wrong. Like me and Earl love like Brandon Marshall and Andre Johnson. We think they don't get enough love because their lack of quarterback play. I mean, Brandon Marshall's best guy was Jay Cutler. I mean, Jay Cutler wasn't a bum, but he wasn't the best of the best as far as quarterback wise, and he was inconsistent. And Andre, we can't even name the quarterbacks he played with. So it's like, bro, like you gotta give him. And Andre had like, what he had, 3 1,500-yard seasons, or was it 2?
But I ain't gonna lie though with the Jay Cutler thing, because like Steve like bringing up a good point, bro. I couldn't remember what game it was, but like Jay Cutler had got into it with his offensive coordinator, like in the middle of the game. Like he sent the play in, and Jay Cutler was like, "Are you fucking serious right now? You really finna call this?" Like, bro, like mid-game, the mic picking it up and everything. And I'm just like, wow, bro. Like it makes you think, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how good could guys be if they in a situation where, like for instance, how they set everything up around Josh Allen. Y'all remember that first year Josh Allen was bad. Yeah, bad. And they bring in Dable, then they bring in Cole Beasley, then they bring in Stephon Diggs.
Because everybody the pinnacle is at that I guess at this time was Pat Mahomes, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that goes back to what I was saying. You know, a lot of these teams are thinking, okay, boom or bust. That's why you start seeing like the Los Angeles Rams that year when they went out and just signed a ton of guys. But now, I mean, they surprised me even last year. I mean, but they got a great defensive line. You know what I mean? I guess, you know, they've been hitting on those 2 guys they got now, but you know, they had to blow that team up. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, a lot of these teams, bro, it's like they got a short window as far as management, coaching, you know, so it's like, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it.
And that's the thing. Like, I feel like both sides of this equation, except for a couple anomalies, but especially quarterbacks, most of the top quarterbacks of all time had a number 1 receiver. Like, and even guys who were elite or considered elite at one point, there's literally only a very few amount that didn't. I feel like Tom, you could put in there, but Tom, I don't think like Tom's first 3 Super Bowls. Yes, he was really, really good, but he wasn't elite. I don't think yet, but I think maybe in the Eagles Super Bowl he was. But anyway, I just think the only guy I really, really can't name is Cam Newton, or like that didn't have a number 1 receiver with him.
It just came to me. Can I ask you a quick question, Steve? Because we hear all the stories, like for instance, Drew Brees was up there and he called out an NFL offensive play. You know, you got the Buster Right, all that kill stuff. What are play calls like for defense in the NFL? Is it similar?
No, it's a lot more simpler, and I don't know why. But maybe I don't know. Maybe what I'm basically saying is I was about to say maybe they want guys that play fast, but that doesn't really correlate to offense because they want offense guys that play fast also. But I don't understand it either. But yeah, defensive plays. I mean, they're not just telling you to go out there and play cover 4. I mean, or cover 2 or cover 1. There's a lot of different variations, and each team calls each coverage. You know, they have different terminology, but you know, in a nutshell, you know, everything is basically for defense. It's the same shit. Cover, you either playing man to man, 0 coverage, no safety help, cover 2, cover 4, cover 3, or you playing a combination of some sort. You know what I'm saying? So for the young guys is watching this, you know what I'm saying? If you can kind of process that, you know what I'm saying, when you going in and trying to learn a playbook, like, oh, this shit is just cover 4. It's just cover 2. You know, fuck all that extra fancy terminology. It's the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So
don't get misconstrued.
yeah, like it's the same shit you've been playing the whole entire time. Like that's why, like when I would go to a new team, I could pick up on shit fast because I'm like, damn, why y'all calling this shit that? Like, it's just cover 2. Like I always, you know, it's funny to me. Like, dudes, coaches be trying to sound hella smart and shit. I'm like, bro, this shit is cover 2. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why we wasting all this time trying to have a spelling contest? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, weird flex. Okay, so I'll name a few guys just so that we don't get lost in translation with that stuff. So obviously got Ranian Teo off. Torrey Holt was the number 1 yards from 2000 to 2009. Derek Mason, a name that
damn got caught in the wash.
He's number 4.
Got caught in the wash. That's another one. He was good.
Yeah, he was good.
Yep.
Derek Mason's that boy, man.
Yeah, I was just talking to Marsh about it.
Obviously Marv. You got Heinz Ward. Then you've got Chad, Reggie
Larry.
Wayne.
Respectfully, Chad was better than Hines Ward.
Yeah,
Chad was not only a good player, but he was a good showman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, that's what I was talking about. Like he's very likable.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then we got Andre, Steve Smith Sr., obviously, and a guy that pretty far down the list and had some of his work in the 10s, Larry Fitz. Larry Fitz is tough because I don't even know. I feel like he was just on both sides. You could do 2010 and 2000s because he played for so long.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, early like 2006, 7, 8, he had some good years, like 1100, 1200 years. So he can kind of count still.
He like
2008. He was
LeBron.
good,
He like the LeBron of raw receivers, like just longevity. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm not gonna
That
lie.
that playoff run he had in 08 was insane.
I think the majority of his work was honestly
It was the back end. It was the back end of like the 2000s, bro. It was like 08, 09, 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would count him honestly.
That was between him. It was between him and Andre, who was the best receivers in the
Man,
league.
I still remember that boy in college, bro. Like, I don't think y'all.
I'm gonna stand on
that
this.
goal line fade was something serious.
You talking about? You said Cortland Finnegan?
No, Larry Fitz.
Nah, somebody said Andre.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Cortland Finnegan, when he be here right now.
What did that boy Andre Johnson never talk, bro? What did that say to make him go from silent? I'm gonna be bro.
I seen Andre talk about it. He was talking crazy like the whole game. So he was like, you know what?
No, I think we're doing.
I'm about to put hands on him.
Portland was known, like that was his MO. Like he was known for being smaller stature. You know, that's how he cut his teeth. You know, chippy guy. Like you're not gonna overlook him. And I respect that. You know what I'm saying? Because you trying to feed your family. Like I don't care if you 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 2 whatever. Like I'm out here. You know what I'm saying?
And I know he got beat up, but they showed a few plays. Like so, Steve would tell you, DB's got this thing where they kind of line up in the receiver stands when they about to jet, like bro, and they gonna fuck you up too. Like it's the craziest thing. They line up like almost in the receiver stand, and they jam the. He did that to Andre Johnson that game, and I was like, that's what probably kind of got him mad right there because
he called him.
He only do that when y'all trying to send a message. You know what I'm saying?
He called him slipping. Like you do shit like that early. Like that's just like a intimidation. You know, you don't really quick jam. You know, throughout the game because I mean, you really selling out when you quick jam. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you miss, like that could be if a guy runs a fade ball, it's over. But you know, it's all about timing with that, and you know, the good guys. You know what I'm saying? You got to know. Like I used to look at the quarterback. I wouldn't even get in that receiver stance you talking about because you know guys are taught like that's a quick jam stance. You know what I'm saying? When people caught on to it. So what I would do is just line up normal. I would look at the quarterback and I would go off the snap. So I know that the receiver has his release is basically off the snap. So I would look at the snap like, because our receivers, what are they doing? They looking at the ball, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I would look at the ball, but I would peripheral him and I'll set my target. And as soon as the ball hiked, that's how I would win a lot of those. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the cornerback or the wide receiver has to react to the snap too. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
honestly-
yeah. That's what I'm saying. So I would try to time the snap faster than him. So I know he has to take a step up. So once the ball hike, I already got hands in your chest. You know what I'm saying? But
Right, because if you're following
just a little-
him, then it's like you're
that's
almost
just a little nugget for the young guys. You know what I'm saying? You gotta watch the snap. You can't just line up and think you're gonna quick jam.
Right.
Yeah, but okay, so we'll go back to 3. I'm gonna stand on business with Larry. I am, because I really do believe that Larry is a top 5 receiver in the game, in the history of it. And I'm not gonna lie, yeah, he played a lot of his career in the 2010s, but he had 3 or 4 1,400-yard seasons, a 1,200-yard season, and honestly, after 2012, his numbers dropped. So I'm gonna put Larry at 3. I am, because I'm sorry, B, but I truly believe that Larry is better than me.
I thought it was a vote.
No, it is, but like we're still gonna pick. So I'm gonna go Larry F. Dot.
I'm gonna go on Marvin still. I think I'm Marvin at 3.
You went Marvin.
You're going.
Yeah.
Marvin.
Yeah, it's definitely more.
I like Marvin. Anybody? What's my guy down in Jacksonville? Y'all don't like any of those Jacksonville guys?
Kenny
McCardell. They get
Kenny
so
McCardell and the other guy.
Oh, Jimmy Smith. Yeah.
Smith. Oh yeah,
He was
Jimmy
dog.
Smith. Jimmy Smith is definitely slept on.
McCardell was definitely a dog, bro.
I feel like Derek Mason slept on too. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, he slept on a little bit.
Now when I'm thinking about it, yeah, you're right.
Jimmy Smith was a dog.
Yeah.
He ain't had no real quarterbacks either, bro.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. It's just where you at, but like this is how I judge a receiver, bro, because like I mean, we can argue all day about what's the harder position, and I'm not biased. Obviously, like I'm gonna say, okay, I'm a DB, I run backward, but like when you're an offensive guy, you really your life and your kids' legacy depends on somebody throwing you the ball.
Mm-hmm.
When you a DB, you know what I'm saying, you kind of can dictate, you know what I'm saying, what you do. Like you don't have to let a guy catch the ball on you, but like if you're a receiver, you know what I'm saying, I don't care how nice you is in college, if you get into it with a coach or whatever the case may be, you might not get the ball. And then if you the guy and you got a bad quarterback and you still go off, like to me, I think the guys who, you know what I'm saying, like the smaller markets, like those guys, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's multiple guys like that we can name that had bad quarterbacks. We talking about Andre Johnson. Like you still got off, you know what I'm saying?
Especially in the 2000s.
Like cause my measure, I mean, there's really no scientific measure, but like we just hypothetically speaking, okay, what if Andre Johnson or these other guys that had success without, I guess, premier quarterbacks, what if they had a good quarterback?
Exactly, yeah. And that
Like,
what if
what-
game is that you go down a rabbit hole.
You know what I'm saying? Like what if? I mean, what if is a fifth at this point, but I mean, that's how I look at it. It's like, what is the potential? Like,
Facts. No, I do agree with that, and that's why for me it's about skill set. Like production matters, but if there's a guy with the same production, I'm two guys with the same
I'm
production.
taking the skill set more, for sure.
and that's why it's kind of hard. That's why it's kind of hard to put these lists together because it's just so many fucking variables, bro.
Right,
I mean,
and that's why I said it's what you value. Like,
and I played the game. It's like I've seen guys be top guys go into a contract year, production drops, not because of him, because they don't want to pay you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just so much
That's
shit.
so damn, brother.
like what you said about Julio.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I guess all we have to go off of, like everybody, like podcasts, fucking these big platforms, ESPN, whatever, they only go off of production, but I think there's more to it. I don't know.
People don't really
When
talk about
you
that
use
though, man.
context, it gets slippery because you got to be consistent. You can't use context for someone else and then not use it, and there's bias in every single person's take just based off of who they like. That's just how it is. So yeah, that is a good point.
Context has to be consistent. That's very true.
So Bama, who would you go? So I went Larry, then we got F. Dot and B with Marv. Steve, you went with Marv too. Is that your three?
I think Marv is solidified himself for that position. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all. But B, you say who you want, but it's already set. Bama, I mean.
Bama said Andre. He wanted Andre right there.
You want
No, I ain't really tripping, bro.
I think Andre could be 4, maybe.
Yeah, I think he's 4.
Y'all think he over there?
They fighting for 4 and 5 to me. I mean, I'm not mad at any position. I mean, if we going off stats, I mean, it's a hairline.
Skill set wise, y'all think Chad Johnson and Andre like kind of in the same combos? Like how y'all
honestly,
I think they were different. They're different players. In my opinion.
They're different types of wide receivers to me.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta think about it. Like Chad, it's hard to hit him in the phone booth. Like he's so quick, his feet.
Yeah.
Andre, you got the physicality of it too. Like, don't get me wrong, he had good footwork too. We saw them videos. But think about 6'3", 230, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like,
and that's why I love Chad, but that's why I think I'll take Andre. Chad's best feet probably ever.
Yeah, he's a big advocate for a lot of these young guys and all these little footwork videos. Like Chad really, I don't know, maybe y'all can tell me if it's somebody else, but I think he kind of set that precedent for that culture. Like as far as like, we setting this footwork, culture, I think Chad was the first one, to kind of put that out there. And all those guys train together. They used to train together, back then too.
Yeah, and
I don't know if you remember. It was Chad put it on YouTube, but I always have to date myself. I be trying to tell the younger football players, bro. It was a DVD we got. It was the Miami receivers, bro. They showed the footwork drills, everything. It was $24.99. You had to buy the shit. It was like Santana Moss, all of them, bro. Like they showed the footwork drills they was doing, and then they showed routes, all of that, how they break the routes down, then they set the cones up, everything, bro. Like I vividly remember that DVD. Like that's when after that DVD was like made accessible to the public. That's when we saw Ocho. What's the OG dude? Footwork. What is it? Like footwork?
Was he a player?
I don't think he was a player, but he was like a trainer, bro. Like he popular.
You come out of Houston, Footwork King?
Yeah, because I interviewed him on Trent Show. Footwork King. Like that's when the YouTube Chad Footwork King. That's when that started to come out. Like they was just for the free. Yeah. Like at first we used to have to pay for that shit, and then them boys started putting that junk on there, and then it just created a whole.
Yeah, that footwork culture. I think Chad started that because he was a showman. You know what I'm saying? Like the toe tap and all that. You know what I'm saying? He definitely had a. You know what I'm saying? He was
looked good
too. Definitely a pioneer of that.
And Chad was 6'1", but I mean he was 190, 180, and he was beating guys strictly off of his feet.
Shout out Oregon State, man. Chad Johnson, man. A lot of people don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Alma mater. You know what I'm saying?
I was genuinely when I first started like following Chad because I don't watch him like play live because it's too young. But like I mean later, but not in his prime. But yeah, I was very surprised when went to Oregon State.
Steve, Oregon State, a lot of talent. Who you played with when you was there?
When I played,
you say it like it's nothing, bro. You was third round draft pick to me, dog. That's
especially in the past.
I think I'm very grateful for where I was drafted. You know, a kid coming from Georgia. I went to 5 different high schools. Went to alternative school. You know, I got a testimony and all that. I'm writing a book right now, but I went to junior college. You know, ended up going. I was offered by pretty much all the top schools in the country. You know, I'm from Georgia, so I had a Georgia offer. I committed, decommitted, ended up going to Oregon State, just based off my DB coach and my mentor today, Rob Perry. So I don't know if you guys know your history. Rob Perry should be a Hall of Fame cornerback, 5'8", You know what I'm saying?
I got my
Play for the Rams. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, back when back in the day in the gap. But yeah, I learned a lot from him. But anyway, who I was there with when we talking about receivers, Brandon Cooks. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
Bolitnikov winner. You know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So that's who I was getting a lot of work with. Oregon State, man. I mean, there's a lot of guys, but not like big name guys. But a lot of guys from there get a lot of NFL opportunities. Sean Mannion, quarterback. I think he might be still in the league somewhere. I didn't play with the Rogers brother. I seen somebody ask that in the chat.
Yeah.
But I came after that. Jordan Poyer. You know what I'm saying? Who else, bro?
The safety.
Marcus Wheaton. You know what I'm saying? Had a short stint in the league, receiver. But back then the Pac-12 was real competitive, man. You play USC where they had Marquise Lee, Nelson Aguilar, Sewell Cravens.
USC was nice.
Yeah, man. So it's a ton of guys, man. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So
You know the little YouTube buddy, Dockery?
Yeah, Docker. Yeah, I got a video with him on my YouTube, or on his YouTube back in the day. We did like a little YouTube video. But yeah, Dockery was there when I was there. You know what I'm saying? He was a receiver or whatever. And all the stuff he kind of got his name for, as far as like doing all the YouTube catches and stuff. That was him in like real time. Like,
Oh shit.
yeah, like he was one of them unorthodox dudes. Like, you can have the perfect covers, bro, and he might do some wild shit. You be like, what the fuck? Like, he just had kind of like he was real undersized. That's why he never really got a shot. But like, he used to just, I think all over the country, you got dudes like that on every team. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Dockery was special, bro. He definitely used to make weird ass catches. I used to be mad as fuck. I'd be like, there's no way.
He started a wave, man. Like people, college students, athletes are kind of making a name and likeness off of their own little brand, YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, he a pioneer for that shit for sure. Yeah.
yes,
He used
sir.
to do some crazy shit. You'd be like, bro, I can't even, like, catching shit behind his head, like before the Odell Beckham catch. Like, he used to do some weird shit. I'd be like,
You do it in a real scrimmage type of game, or like on some just
well, not because he wasn't a starter, you know what I'm saying? Because he, like I say, he was undersized, but he just used to do weird shit in practice. They used to have me tight.
yeah.
I'd be like, there's no way this motherfucker caught that.
But,
That's crazy.
That's tough.
all right, so we'll put Marv's at 3. 4, I'm standing on Larry. I'm gonna stand on it until he's off the board. I'm gonna stand on it. I've thought. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put Larry here. I think Larry.
B.
Yeah, Larry's fine on Andre Johnson.
Yeah, we can go there.
Larry, and then 5. I would take Andre. I love Chad, but I just feel like if Andre couldn't run routes at all or something, obviously he wouldn't be as good as he is. But like then maybe Chad. But just the fact that he's that physical, it's really hard for me not to put him over Chad. So I'll take Andre. F. Dot.
Yeah.
It was either him or
But
Reggie.
Derek Mason, bro.
Derek Mason too. I love Derek Mason, bro. I used to talk about Derek.
He was, but I'm not putting him over Steve.
Oh yeah, Steve.
I'm not putting him
I
over
might
Steve.
put. I ain't lie. I might put Steve over.
Steve
Andre.
over Andre, yeah.
I might put Steve over Andre.
Steve was my after. I was actually kind of surprised.
Steve brought that element to the game for undersized guys. Like
Yeah.
he was a bully, but like undersized. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I think I might
And
rock
like Steve was legit, like in everything. Like for being 5'10", had hands,
Route,
making
tag speed.
catches, yak. Like he was freaking
Over Andre though? I don't know about that.
I don't know
Like,
about.
that's
I don't know
what-
He
about, I
had
don't
the
know about
same
over
I don't know about
Andre.
situation
over
though.
What?
Like he wasn't playing with the best of best quarterbacks until Cam got over there. Like
Neither
and
was
he had a
Andre.
little bit of Cam, bro.
He had
Like-
at least Jake Delhomme. Andre had some bums, bro. He had
I know,
some
yeah.
bums.
But the thing about Steve though is like I'm not that big on playoff like obviously playoff performance as a receiver. It might
He was a dog in
up you,
playoffs.
It's
Yeah.
not gonna down you, but like the fact that Steve Smith was the guy that young with Jake Delhomme at quarterback, that's what took
Yeah.
like that I value a lot because that just shows how good he was.
Well, nah, he had Musa Muhammad over there too. He was a legit
Oh,
wide
yeah.
receiver.
Yeah. No,
Andre came in
I'm
the
still
league
taking
being
Andre.
the guy. Andre came in the league being the guy.
That's fair.
I'm still taking Andre, but I'm not mad. I'll go Andre. So me and B Andre, F. Dot Steve Smith, Bama, Steve Smith, and then Steve. You're the tiebreaker. So whatever you choose.
Can somebody pull up the stats?
Um,
I'm gonna pull up the stats for
I hate to go
Andre.
to stats. I hate to go to stats.
I'm gonna pull up
So
Andre.
this-
for his
This
stats.
post skill wise, you gotta go to stats, man. See what's
so
good.
Steve in the 2000s, 2009, he had 8,330 yards, 50 touchdowns. Andre, right under him, 79,048 yards, so 8,000, and then 42 touchdowns. So numbers are a little bit less for Andre,
Mm.
but it is a very
It's close, but Steve had a better quarterback
Yeah,
by far.
I'm gonna go Andre, bro. I'm sorry. I like Steve.
Yeah, I'm fine with Steve here though. I think
That's fair.
Steve has to be next.
Yeah,
Yeah, Steve can be next.
I mean his first, football play I think was a return back for a touchdown.
I remember that. I seen that.
Yeah. And then so this is where it's gonna get tricky. So we got Derek Mason, we've got Chad here, Reggie still on the board, Isaac Bruce still on the board. There's a
Probably
lot
Holt
of
too. We forget
very
about Holt.
underrated name, Anquan Bolden.
And Kwon Bolt.
Underrated name. But yeah, and then Plaxico too. And interesting, had 8,000. But yeah, for me, I mean, Derek, that major respect to Derek for getting 10,500 yards in the 2000 with no quarterback. I'm not gonna lie, that's
No,
insane.
he had Emmett there.
Oh, he did. My bad. Casual stuff. No, okay. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go Chad, man.
He also had Trent Dilfer though.
It's hard for me. It's hard for me.
Yo,
That
yeah,
man was garbage. That man was hot garbage.
bro, I know like Derek Mason could do everything. He could run routes, bro. He had great hands. He had great yak. His yak was hella underrated. His yak was
Nah,
great.
yeah.
I like Derek Mason, but
But Chad is like
Over Chad though, I don't know, bro.
yeah,
Chad
over
is
Chad is
so
yeah,
nice.
over Chad
I
is
don't
crazy.
know, bro.
Yeah, over
Like-
Chad is tough
Yeah.
Chad's so good, bro. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. I really do.
for sure.
I mean,
That should be all.
it's interesting because
We're gonna
I
be
feel
waiting,
like-
but it should happen.
I feel like for being a receiver might be the hardest position to get in. But because they made T.O. wait, like there's only like 2 or 3 guys that they put in first ballot, I think. Well, at least in this newer generation, like the 2000s and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll go Chad. We'll put Chad there. Hold on 1 second. Let me pull this back up. Okay. Chad at 7.
Yeah.
At 8. I'm fine with Derek
Reggie,
here.
or Reggie.
Reggie. Oh, Reggie. I forgot about Reggie.
Yeah,
Oh,
Reggie.
see, this is where it gets nasty though. Like, but Reggie had a lot of yards too. But
Yeah, Reggie did that. Yeah.
this is where it gets real nasty.
Skill wise, he had like literally. It was him and Larry having the best hands in the league.
Yeah.
Reggie was a pure route runner because that's literally all he had because he wasn't athletic like that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only knock on him was he wasn't super athletic. He was just average athletic. He was a B+
And
athlete.
Isaac Bruce had some incredible hands too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Respectfully, Reggie
Yeah,
better than
good.
Isaac
Yeah,
Bruce.
too, bro. I think.
Now if you gave me Torrey Holt, cool, but Reggie was better than Isaac Bruce. Let's not act like that.
Yeah, Reggie was.
Now Torrey Holt, yeah, that's a different conversation because Torrey Holt was an absolute dog.
Yep. All right. So I'll go Reggie. F. Dot.
I'm
You're
gonna go
Reggie.
Reggie. Yeah, I'm going Reggie too.
B.
You ain't gotta ask me. You already know.
Okay, that counts. That's majority. Okay, 9. 9. I'm fine. Like, let me see if there's any other names. I mean, like Anquan Bolden,
Torrey.
but like I'm
I
not
think
gonna
you
lie. I
gotta
don't
throw
think
Torrey here though. You gotta throw Torrey at least. In the
Yeah,
top.
Tory at 9.
Yeah, you gotta throw Torrey.
Tory leads the Tory leads.
He has to be in. Yeah.
He leads out of any receiver. He has the most yards by 1,000 too in the 2000. So yeah.
What y'all thinking, Bama, bro? Who you feeling at 9?
I was thinking like Jimmy Smith.
You taking Jimmy Smith over Torrey?
I mean, they interchangeable, but I feel like, bro, between Jimmy Smith, Torrey, Keenum, bro, I just feel like really one of them Jaguars got to be in the top 10 the more I think about it. For 2000s receiver.
Jimmy Smith was one of them ones. He was.
Kenny
Jimmy
McCardell
was
too,
nice.
though. He was nice.
Yeah.
Jimmy was really nice though. Like Jimmy, I would probably definitely have to consider more, but I just feel like Torrey in his own right was incredible.
Yeah, he was.
He really came into his own. I feel like Bruce is kind of that weird middle ground where he played in the late 90s and he had his best year in the late 90s, but he also was good in the 2000s. But like Torrey came into his own in the 2000s. So I think Torrey might have to be there low key. But guys like Anquan Bolden, I mean, Jimmy Smith,
Derek Mason.
yeah, and Derek Mason, I mean,
I put Derek Mason at 10 and like Tory Holt at 9.
all right, yeah, we can do that. Any objections to that specifically or no?
I'm cool with that.
Okay. All right, well, here's the list. Torrey
I think
Holt.
that's a solid list right there, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Pretty solid. It's pretty solid right there.
All right, so that pretty much wraps up the show, guys. Little bit of a early end just because there's not really much to talk about right now
Yeah.
yet. But yeah, appreciate you, Steve, for coming on, man. It was
For real, dog.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, if you ever want to come
Appreciate
back
that.
on, you're always welcome.
No doubt, man. Y'all be easy.
All
Yes,
right,
sir.
Steve.
All
Yes,
right,
sir.
man.
And that'll be another episode of the Open Field Podcast. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, y'all.
Peace.
That's a cool episode, man.